This monitor that is on screen will become featured at the upcoming Consumer Electronics Show in a few days, and I'm going to cover this. Okay, now once upon a time I thought that the only distinction between smart monitors and smart televisions was that the televisions had operating systems only. Well, actually monitors also have operating systems. This monitor includes the web operating system, which allows you to install applications such as Netflix and YouTube. I'm not sure why you would want to watch YouTube, but I'm just saying. Okay. And then you would not have to connect to a personal computer. And you're also not screen casting. You're not casting. Okay. It's called the MyView smart monitors. They will be featured at the Consumer Electronics Show, which I plan on covering it. No, I'm not going to go in person, no. But I do plan on covering it over the internet. I think it's 4 days. I'm not sure if I would cover all 4 days, but who knows. I'll just call it, well, what I plan on doing is covering individual hardware. And then I may have separate live streams where I just cover the trade show and see what's going on. I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. Now, this is designed not just for entertainment, but also production. It comes with the web operating system. Oh, this MyView, which is a brand, that is debuting. So this is something new. At least the branding is new. You can stream movies, series of shows, also sports, and then you can also listen to music with this monitor. You can also work remotely, and you do not have to connect to a personal computer. Now, the model that I included in the title of this live stream on multiple platforms is 32SR85U, but I think they have other models. They are 4K displays. They do support 4K. Now you have, I think it comes with pre-installed applications. Okay. They're available in different colors, which would include white, mild beige, cotton pink, and cotton green. Cotton pickin'. Actually, I shouldn't use that term because that's actually a potential racial euphemism. Get it? Get it? On this planet, once upon a time, you had those humans that lack shade. And what they did is they held against their will other humans that had a lot of shade. Yeah. And they deny it too. Yeah, that's what's up. And those same people that lack shade in the United States are still the R word. Starts with an R and ends with a T. Yeah, they are. Yep. Okay, anyways. Okay. Now there is a 31.5-inch monitor that supports 4K 3840 by 2160 pixel resolution. Alright. And that is redundant, but the model is 32SR85U. There's also a 32SR83U and a 32SR70U. So there's 3 different monitors at least. Actually, there's more than that. They have a slim form factor, the number 3, 3-side borderless design. Now they have models 32SR85U and then also 32SR83U. So it looks like they have 5 total, I think. Yes. Now they all, no. The R85U and the R83U, they come with adjustable stands. I think those are the only 2 that are adjustable. It's a circular type stand, I think. The 70U has a lower profile base. It's not necessarily a stand, it's just like a base. And they all, I believe, have web operating system, the number 23, really? 23 on, that's included. You can remote work. I'm assuming you could install Skype or Zoom or whatever. It's considered home entertainment. It also allows for home entertainment. Now there are some different streaming services that are already installed. The applications are. It includes Microsoft 365, Google Calendar. You can use it with Apple AirPlay version 2. Also Miracast. It has Wi-Fi integrated. Also Bluetooth is integrated. So you can use it to connect to the internet. And then other devices. Now, I think only the 32SR85U model can be connected with Bluetooth, known as pairing. It has full high definition 1920 by 1080 web camera. So you could use that for video conferencing such as Skype and or Zoom or any of the other ones. Quote, LG MyView smart monitors deliver excellent picture quality, the convenience of web operating system, and wireless connectivity, a sleek design, and much more, unquote. Here's another quotation, quote, our personalized lifestyle monitors can meet each customer's individual needs, providing them with an elevated user experience, whether they're watching, working, or working out, unquote. Remember the upcoming Consumer Electronics Show, which I plan on covering it somehow. I'm not sure exactly what. I know for a fact because I'm not going to give you out now. I studied hard. I'm just now figuring out YouTube. No. You got all these, what's up with all these clowns on YouTube, especially the YouTube technology shills? They claim that they're experts and they claim that they know the YouTube algorithm. Nobody knows the YouTube algorithm. You got these videos with all this clickbait. You know, the secret to the YouTube algorithm, or how to figure out the YouTube algorithm, or, 10 secrets to, no. The YouTube algorithm, it's proprietary, meaning it's a secret. Nobody knows. You know what I'm saying? No, but I've studied hard, and I'm not going to give out my information for free. I think I've figured out what, at least for my channel, what is successful. And I finally figured out after over a decade. No, YouTube changes. They change is what they do. What worked, 5 years ago may not work now. What worked 10 years ago may not work now. What works now may not work next day, tomorrow. Yeah, that sort of thing. Yeah. Okay. No, but I know for a fact that there will be hardware in the next coming days, and then after the Consumer Electronics Show, there's just going to be an endless parade of hardware out there that people are going to brag about and blah, 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 blah. And software and gaming and all that crap. But I'm just saying. Okay. Key specifications. Now, the monitors that they show here are the 85U, 83U, 70U. And the screen sizes are all 31.5 inches. Now, remember, these are monitors. They're not classified as smart televisions. To me, I don't even know why what's the difference? I don't get it. I've stayed at many hotels throughout the years recently, and they always had smart televisions. And on occasion, some of them would have just a monitor, but they were just a little bit smaller. There's very little difference. The connections are very similar. A lot of times it depends on how much money that monitor costs, whether or not it has a lot of connections, a lot of ports. Other than that, no. There's not much difference. I don't get it. It's just bizarre, man. Just call it all the same thing. It's just and then now the smart monitors, which are technically for computers, but so what? You can hook up any computer to a smart television. You can hook up dumb devices, smartphones to smart televisions. You can. Okay, the screen resolution 4K, and then ultimate high definition, ultra high definition. They all support 4K video at, I would assume, ultra high definition, 3840 by 2160. The brightness, all of them, the first two is 400 blah 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 slap blah 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 blah. I don't really care about this, but the brightness, they all support 400 except for the other one supports 350. The color gamut, blah 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 blah, 95%. They all support 95%. Graphics, high definition resolution, 10, they all support 10. The refresh rate, yeah, that's kind of low. Yeah, I don't know about that, man. That's only 60 hertz, and then the response time is 5 milliseconds, but 60 hertz, that's only 60 frames per second. If you're a gamer, that might not, turn out so well for you. I don't know why they're not 120 hertz. I'm not sure. I just haven't studied that. I don't know if it's physics. I don't know if it's more expensive. I really can't imagine that, but I don't know. I'm not an expert. I would think by now that a lot of these monitors and smart televisions would maybe at the very least be 120, which is 120 frames per second. I'm not sure. I'd have to study that and figure out. It could be the circuit boards. It's the refresh rate. The amount of times, if you notice, but I don't know about nowadays, but back in the day, they would never show the old cathode ray tubes on TV. They would never take a video camera and then show it on a computer monitor because most times you could see the refresh rate. Now, the 29.97 was the television. I think it still is. I could be wrong. But you could actually see it. You could see the refresh rate. You know what I mean? But 60 frames per second, that's old school. You know what I'm saying? Universal Bus Type C port. Well, it's the power supply, actually. It says charging power. The first model is 90 watts, the second one is 65 watts, the other one is 45 watts. I don't know why. How come that one is only 45 watts, the first one is 90 watts? And yet they're the exact same size monitors, and they all support 4K, which is 3840 pixel by 2160 pixel resolution. I have no idea. Now, none of them, believe it or not, none of them have high definition multimedia interface connectors. It says 0. X2 0. Or is that the type? No, it can't be. Well, wait a minute. No, this is bizarre. According to this chart, if it has a 0, it means they support it. This is bizarre. Why don't you just put a check, or why don't you just put the number 1 for how many ports? Okay, it looks like they all support high definition multimedia interface. And then X2. They all, only one has a universal serial bus 2.0. Come on, man. That's old school. Come on. Give me a break, man. Give me a break. It should already have universal serial bus type 3. And especially all the money you spend. Yeah, these companies are stingy, man. And that includes Apple and blah, blah, and Google and, what is it? The Apple iPhone 15, I think only supports USB. Or what was it? What was it, the Macintosh? Was it the Apple M3? Only supported like USB 2 or something crazy like that? What? That's old school, and that's not much bandwidth. And it's just a port. I don't believe it. I can't imagine that it costs them so much more money just to solder in a universal serial bus type 3 port that has way more bandwidth than 2. I don't, Why? They all support Wi-Fi. They all support Bluetooth. Now, all of them have a 5-watt speaker. It looks like 2 of them. And they're integrated, embedded. Camera, just the first model, this is bizarre. The first model has a built-in camera. The second one says sold separately, and then you would have to connect it. Well, wait a minute. It says sold separately. Well, that means you'd have to use a universal serial bus port, but 2.0? Let me think. Yeah, you can. I don't know about 1920 by 1080. I'm not sure about that. But yeah, you could hook up a web camera that is 1280 by 720. But I haven't actually tested the 1920 by 1080, so I'm not sure if there's enough bandwidth for that. But that's a bit odd to me. Sold separately, the other monitor, it says there's nothing there, and you can't buy it separately. So what? It doesn't support a web camera or a camera? Excuse me. There is no embedded camera, and it doesn't say sold separately. So what? Are you telling me it doesn't support it? I don't know. Operating system, they all have the number 23 web operating system. They all include Windows Office 365 for microcrap. The Internet of Things is compatible. I refer to it, not always, but a lot of times, I refer to it as the Internet of Stupid Things. Okay. Voice Assistant, they all support that. I'm not sure what that is. It's not Apple, so it wouldn't be Siri. Is it Google? It's not Amazon. I'm not sure. I don't know. Does LG have their own voice assistant? It could very well be Google, you know what I'm saying? Oh, mobile, it all supports casting and mirroring. They all support the Apple AirPlay version 2 or generation 2. You can screen share with all of them. Now, remote, accessory. Well, I think this is optional. It says it's an accessory. You can obtain a high-definition multimedia interface remote control. Okay, options may vary by country and the model. Oh, productivity programs. It looks like wind blows, microcrap, microslop, wind blows, Office 365 would require a subscription. And then sold separately. Where was that at? The number 3. The disclaimer. Anyways, I'm not going to bother, and I think it's with the chart. Anyways, I think it could be the remote or the web camera. Anyways, it doesn't matter. I'm moving on. I'm moving on up to the ghetto. Okay. What time is it? How much time I have been yapping? 18 minutes. Not bad. Good time to take a break. You can always browse to AnyComputers.com to fix your most common computer problems. You want to listen to and watch my 5 most recent. Well, if you want to watch my replay loop that Facebook hates on their platform, they don't allow you to loop your live streams as a replay. But at AnyComputers.com, you can watch my video podcast live streams in a replay loop. On the videos page, there's also a chat room. On the podcast page, you can listen to my 5 most recent podcasts, video live stream podcast in MP3 format for free. On the listen page, you can listen to my 5 most recent podcasts, live stream, video podcast, live stream, and radio format. Okay, now I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about because I have covered some of these other products. I'm not getting paid. This is not a paid sponsorship. Nope, I am not. But I already talked about this monitor here. I did. I'm pretty sure I did. I talked about this robot right here. Oh, they're still getting views, but you can go on to my, am I allowed to say this? I don't know, I could get banned on these. Oh yeah, I don't trust any of these platforms, none of them. None of them. They do not support free speech. It's pretty obvious, and they're control freaks. I don't know. On your preferred platform of choice, you can find a lot of these videos, podcasts, live streams that have been archived. I think I did talk about that gaming monitor. I'm pretty sure I did. The robot, yep. And those archives are still getting views now. I called it the pet sitter, but it's actually, they call it a smart home agent. It's artificial intelligence. And I also, I discussed this television too. I'm pretty sure I did. Anyways, do they have some other? Oh, let's check out the pictures, photografias. Let's go back. Yeah, we can check out. I think I should be able to view them, can't I? Oh, wait a minute. Wait a minute, I'm getting distracted. I'll be right back. Well, I don't believe in coincidences. This is like the third or fourth day in a row I've been interrupted on my live streams by a yapping mutt next door. I don't believe in coincidences. I'm beginning to think it's intentional. Yeah, this is pissing me off. I am working on transferring. I'm getting out of this place. It's getting creepier and creepier. But let me see if I can open up these images, and yeah, then we can view them. Okay, they're not very large, but I don't even know if that's, hey, what is that, a real picture of it? Yeah, was it LG? One of these companies admitted that one of the photographs that they used in their marketing was fictitious. I'm not making that up. I was kind of thinking maybe that they were using artificial intelligence. You never know. Yeah, I don't know why you would do that. You have a real product that you're selling, and you create a fictitious photograph that's not even the real product. Here's another photograph. Allegedly it's real, I don't know. Okay, here's another one. That would be the web operating system. So you can tell it's already has some applications installed. YouTube, I think that's YouTube on the left. Disney, maybe. Amazon, yep. So it has already pre-installed applications for you that you can use. I'm assuming that you'll be able to install them and remove them on your own. I would hope so. Okay, here's another photograph of the web operating system. What else? Looks like one more. Yeah. So that's supposed to be, I think that's remote control right here where my mouse cursor. There's the stand. Okay. Anything further? Let me see. Related articles. You know what? I haven't talked about this. Yeah, I'm not getting paid. No. I'm not being sponsored by anybody to talk about this. It's just why not? There was, let me think. I was going to talk about this. No, was there another motherboard? Maybe later on in this live stream. After this, I'll talk about a motherboard. I think there was another Asus. I don't think it was Gigabyte. There was a different Asus motherboard that I could discuss. And, you know, yeah, I'm getting tired of getting distracted and interrupted. This is what, 3 or 4 straight days in a row. You can't make this up. This is the Life's Good Pro Boast Ultra Slim. It has artificial intelligence. It's called the LG Gram Professional. Oh, it's a laptop. Okay. They claim that they're very lightweight. They claim it comes with an all-day battery. You know what I do? I almost never use my laptop without it being plugged in. I've never had a problem. I always plug in my laptops. I always have. On occasion, I might take it out somewhere with me, outside, on occasion. Other than that, no. I always leave them plugged in. So I never care. I never worry about battery life because I always plug it. Yeah. I treat a laptop like a desktop computer. I do. Never had a problem. Never had a problem. I wouldn't even, you know what? I wouldn't risk it. Here's a tip. You never want your laptop to power off because of battery discharge. You know why? Because the operating system has to, number one, be gracefully shut down. Number two, the file system has to be dismounted correctly. If the file system and or the operating system just stops because of the lack of power, the file system and or the operating system can become corrupt to the point where you could lose data. Number one. Number two, the operating system may not boot properly. So I don't know why these companies brag about, all-day battery life. Well, who cares? If you forget and you fall asleep and then the next day you wake up and it's a blank screen and there's no power and you left the operating system booted, you might be fucked. Okay. All right. And I don't argue, there's these bizarre arguments on the internet. I think it's because people are ignorant. They do not have information technology knowledge. They think that they know what they're talking about, but they don't. There's arguments, you shouldn't plug in your laptop at all times. You shouldn't plug in your smartphone at all times. Or the old school argument, you should just leave your computer on all the time. You shouldn't power it off every day. If you keep powering off, your computer is going to wear out the power supply, the switch. Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo. I've never worried about any of that crap. Okay. So this is a small laptop, huh? They claim it's lightweight. It does include artificial intelligence functions. It has some kind of application. File sharing, photograph sharing, screen mirroring. Why would you need artificial intelligence for that? They mentioned that it comes with artificial intelligence functions. And then they go off and brag about file sharing, photographic sharing, and screen mirroring. Well, why would you need artificial intelligence for those tasks? Are old school. You've been able to file share. You had Windows for work groups. That was networking. That was decades ago. File sharing, that's nothing new. Photographic sharing, that's the same thing. You're just sharing data. Sharing data, that's old school. Why would you need artificial intelligence for that? I don't get it. All right. Now you can share your screen with Google Android and Apple iPhone devices, which I assume would be the Apple iPhone operating system devices, more specifically, succinctly, which would include the iPhone and the iPad. Now, the models are 16Z90SP, and also they have a 17Z90SP. I'm assuming the first number designates the size of the screen, but I could be wrong. Now, they come with Intel Core Ultra processors, and also they come with NVMe PCI Express solid-state drives, version 4.0, or they support those types of hard drives. It has a integrated NVIDIA GeForce RTX 3050 video graphics. Now, these laptops include the Intel Artificial Intelligence Boost Neural Processing Unit. That's what they're called. Oh, it doesn't need network connection. It can handle artificial intelligence without a network connection. Yeah, they keep bragging about the file sharing, the photo transfers. That's nothing. Who cares? Well, I know, I get it. But it's a computer. What? Computers have been able to share files for decades now. Decades and decades and decades. That's nothing new. Sharing data. Huh? Why do they keep... Oh, come on. I'll be right back. My live streams keep getting interrupted and ruined. I assume it's by design, it's intentional. I think the people next door are intentionally triggering that mutt. It's not an accident. I've noticed a pattern. The last, I think, 4 days in a row, during my live streams, it starts yapping. And I'm not talking that loud. Now, why is that? Okay, occasionally after I live stream, but not that often. It's almost every day at the same time during when I live stream. But I guess everything's just an accident, right? I am filing for a transfer. I'm getting out of this shithole. This is so ghetto. It's getting creepier and creepier and creepier. I already told you that they may have broken the law. Now, I'm not a legal expert, but apartment complexes are supposed to give you 24 hours warning unless it's an emergency. This was not an emergency. They emailed me saying there might be bugs, a bug infestation or something. I haven't seen any. Now they put a notice on my door, but they broke in. They may not have known it. I have an information technology background. They may not have realized it, but they only gave me like a 3-hour and 20-minute warning. They emailed me, but I wasn't here, and they were late anyways. And I don't believe in coincidences either. The email message told me that they were going to show up at a specific time. And even the notice did. I go for a walk every day that it's sunny. And I almost go for a walk within about a 15-minute window. Almost the exact same window every day, the same time. That email stipulated the exact hour that I normally go for a walk. The notice stipulated the exact hour I go for a walk. It said I don't have to be here. Of course, I don't. No, you don't rule over me. No. I don't believe in coincidences. Are they trying to snoop in on me? Are they trying to inspect my unit knowing that I'm normally not here at that time? I don't believe in coincidences. Why isn't it in the morning? Why isn't it later in the afternoon? Why is it basically the same hour time frame that I go for a walk? I don't believe in coincidences. I have an information technology background. If they think they're going to snoop in my items, they're wrong, because they'll get caught. Yeah. Yep. If they dare snoop around in my items, and I live frugally, so I don't own that much, and I know better than that. I never leave things out. And this is believe it or not, I've lived in multiple apartments. I've lived in I've stayed in hotels for extended periods when I travel. Where else? Let's see. I owned a townhome one time. That's different. I've had landlords, right? And I've never ever had them have to inspect. Never. Never. They already broke in. They broke in here. I found out that they did. And I wasn't really happy about it. So I have an information technology background. This is my private area. I know how to take video. I know how to take audio. I'll leave it at that. And they may have not known that. And I heard what they said. They came in here for about 10 or 15. I was also, sometimes when people show up, I don't like people, right? I'm antisocial. I am an introvert. I'll try to go hang out in a different room, and they might leave, or it's very rare. Some of the hotels are nasty. So usually they have a door latch that they can't come in, but sometimes they do try to enter in, even though there's door latches. Oh yeah, they'll open your door and they'll peek in. Oh yeah, and this is United States. That happens a lot. Yeah, at hotels I stayed at. Yep. When that happened, I just used to, go hide somewhere or hang out in the bathroom. Now the one time, I was in the bathroom here, but I have technology, so even if I was not here, I would have known what they said. They came in for like 10 seconds. And I think they lied. They said that the email specified that there was going to be a pet control inspection, an inspector, right? Well, what I heard was two people talking. One said management, and it was a male voice. Well, the manager is a female. She said that there was going to be a male pest control person with her. But that person said that he was management. He said, we're management. Well, when was the last time that a pest control agent was a manager at an apartment complex? Get it? Yeah. They think I'm stupid. So I'm thinking that maybe somebody lied and tried to snitch on me, claiming that, and then yeah, and then they use that as an excuse to only give me 3 hours notice, 3 hours and 20 minutes, and then they kept. I never let people. I don't have to. I never open the door for strangers. Never, never have, never will, unless I know somebody is coming to visit me. Then I'll open the door. But there's also a peephole, or well, that's a bad term. There is an eye hole that you can look out. Yeah. Other than that, I don't answer the door for people that just all of a sudden somebody knocks. Never. Never have, never will. So this place is getting creepy. And it's always been creepy, but it's getting creepier. And I'm not a legal expert, but I swear that unless it's an emergency, landlords, they have to give you a notice. They got to give you, 24 hours, whatever. And I think some states have statutes. They do. They have a local city council might actually have an ordinance. You just have to look it up. Okay. All right. Let's return back to this lightweight laptop that has artificial intelligence technology. And I got interrupted again. I don't believe in coincidences. Every time, this is like 4 days in a row. It just, during the window that I live stream, I get interrupted. But I guess that's an accident, right? Yeah, I'm not sure why they're bragging so much about, transferring files. That's old school. I mean, even before Bluetooth, you could easily transfer files between computers. You had Microsoft Windows for Workgroups as an example. Linux has you had that ability with Linux for decades now. I don't get it. Okay, big deal. Okay. What do you mean effortless file sharing? File sharing has been effortless unless you use that Microsoft SharePoint. Then it does. Then it is not necessarily effortless. You know? Yeah, we already know. This is redundant. Okay, so you can. It says Microsoft Windows, Google Android, Apple iPhone operating system devices such as the iPad and the iPhone. This is redundant now. It says that the artificial intelligence will then categorize your photographs for you. Can you disable that? They claim that it allows for easy image searches through the use of keywords. I don't get it, man. You can actually, it looks like you can control smartphones and tablets with the Life's Good keyboard and mouse. All right. Oh, it comes with a dual cooling system. Now, does it include, they mention artificial intelligence image creation tools. Does it just support those or does it come with them? I'm not sure. Yeah, I was correct. I called it. The model numbers at the beginning actually are the screen. I've noticed that pattern. Not always, but a lot of times. The model numbers in, monitors, even smart televisions, laptops, certain numbers designate the size of the screens, but not always. You know what I'm saying? But yes, I called it the 16 and 17 inch. So these laptops come in a 16 inch and a 17 inch. But they claim that they're lightweight, so I'm not sure. No, I'm getting distracted. This is getting ridiculous. This is the number 3, the third time I've been interrupted and distracted. And I just heard a door slam. So I went out to investigate. And the neighbors just, slammed their door, or they were really loud. How does that solve anything? I don't know if they got sick and tired of their yapping mutt and took it outside and were emotional and frustrated. But I don't slam doors. I'm not loud. I don't think people hear me when I come and go. And I've always been that way. Doesn't matter what environment. A house. When I was younger, I lived in a large house with a large backyard. I never slammed doors. Number one, it was not allowed, but they didn't need to lecture me because I never slammed doors. I don't slam cupboards. You know what I mean? I don't get it. It's not rocket science. When you come and go, it doesn't matter what environment. You could be wealthy. You could be a millionaire, billionaire. You could have mansions. Those mansions are going to have doors. It's easy to shut a door softly. It is. Shutting a door, opening a door, and not making much noise. Doesn't require much effort. It does not. Even in an office environment. I haven't worked in an office environment, thankfully, for over, how long has it been now? It's been over a decade. I've been self-employed closer to let me think. 16 years now, or something like that. You know, I had one contract for 10 months. Other than that, no. Anyways, working in any kind of office environment, corporate America, I was quiet too. Now, some of the coworkers were obnoxious. The managers would have their offices and they would slam the door. They would shut it loud. That used to drive me up a wall. But me personally, I've been most of my life a quiet person. It's not that difficult. You know, there's no excuses. Transfer. I am transferring out of here. I can't wait. I can't wait to do it. I'm not putting up with this shit anymore. Okay. Yep. Okay, there's a lot of marketing fluff here. There's a lot of adjectives. There's a lot of just bullshit. Okay. Yeah, words like stunning, outstanding, superb. I'm not making this shit up. That's all in this article. Yeah, the word outstanding, the word stunning, and the word superb. Well, I don't know if that's true. Those are just abstractions. Those are just adjectives. They don't mean a thing to me because they have no meaning. Those are just abstract human language, right? Your definition of outstanding might be somebody else's definition of deplorable. Your definition of stunning might be somebody else's definition of molass. Your definition of superb could be somebody else's definition of ordinary. I mean, it's just absurd. Now, it says it has 100% coverage, the DCI P3 wide quad. Oh, wow, XGA, that's old school. Yeah, XGA, graphics array. Resolution, WQXGA, which supports 20. I think XGA is older, actually. There's VGA is very old, video graphics array. It supports 2560 by 1600 resolution pixels with a 16-inch model. Well, wait a minute. I think that's a 17-inch model. My bad. It looks like the 16-inch model comes with 2830 by 1800 resolution. That's bizarre. I think I'm reading it correctly. Why would the 17-inch model support less pixel resolution than the smaller one? I have no idea. I think they both might be organic light emitting diode. They have different ports. Wow. This both, I think, has a Thunderbolt 4 connector. Also a universal serial bus Type-C. Also, which is the rounded one. It's newer. The universal serial bus Type-A, which is old, connector, and also a high-definition multimedia interface. They do not mention a display port. These are considered 2-in-1s. The model is 16T90SP. I don't care about awards. I don't care what you won. For all I know, you paid for that award. You know what I'm saying? I don't care about the Guinness World Records. Okay, let's move along. They claim that it is the lightest 16-inch 2-in-1 model laptop ever manufactured. I don't know if that is true. That you may think that's a good thing, but I'm a bit suspicious because lightweight. In order for a screen that size to then brag about it being lightweight, is it a cheaper? What I mean by cheaper is it one of the really thin screens, the thin organic light emitting diode screens that you barely breathe on it, you sneeze on it, you touch it, and it just shatters? Oh yeah, I'm not making that up. Some laptops have very, very, very thin screens. Also, some smart televisions, some smart monitors. It depends on since I had a computer repair business at one time, people would bring in laptops, or they would recycle them, and they were damaged, right? And I would they were already damaged. The screen was already, damaged. You had to replace them. There's no way around it. I would test. I would either take my hand or my fist and just do this. Yeah, it was already broken, so who cares? And to see what would happen. And some of them I would barely do this and they would just crack. Other ones, I would hit on them a couple of times and I would have to really hit them hard. Also, another test you could do. No. I never give out advice. I never recommend anything, and I don't guarantee anything. I'm not telling you. How dumb do you think I am? Do you really think I would give you advice and have you test on a laptop screen that already works and there's no problems with it? Of course not. But you could take a broken one and then you could try a drop test. Yeah, some of them are very thin. It doesn't take much. Other ones, and I'm not talking about what were those called? I think they were Panasonic. Oh, Toughbooks. Was it Panasonic? There was an individual that used to bring me computers that he would purchase off the internet in auctions because he was trying to start like some kind of business, and I would install the operating system for him, and then I would just charge him less, but he would bring me volume. He'd bring me a lot of them, so you know what I mean? And I think were they Panasonic? They were Toughbooks, though. Yeah, those screens, yeah. I don't know if they would break even if you dropped them. The cases were heavy, yeah. So just because these companies brag about, well, it's lightweight, it's the lightest laptop ever. Well, be careful what you wish for. In order for that laptop to become that light, it may require a very thin screen that just you barely. Yes, as an example, you might have the laptop lid closed and you accidentally drop it and it lands on the screen side of it, the lid. It may be just gone. It may just have shattered or broken. Yeah. I'm not saying I know for a fact, but I am a little bit suspicious. You know what I'm saying? It's a convertible laptop. This is all redundant. 12.4 millimeters thick. Okay. Weighing only 1,399 grams. It has a 360-degree hinge that moves around, rotates, or whatever. It's adjustable. It comes with a 4-way, bezel? Oh, it has a touchscreen. Okay, well, generally touchscreens are, it depends on. But yeah, generally touchscreens might be a little bit of a thicker screen. But it does have a touchscreen. It includes a stylus known as a pen that can charge wirelessly. Oh, they come in more sizes. There are 14-inch, 15-inch, 16-inch, and 17-inch. Those models are 17Z90S, 16Z90S, 15Z90S, and 14Z90S. And the first two numbers designate the size of the screen in inches. Yeah, I don't really care about battery life. Again, I already went over that. I almost never, occasionally I use a laptop without the battery, but it's rare. And then a lot of these computer manufacturers, they brag about long-lasting battery life, and I don't know what their definition is of long-lasting is. My definition of a long-lasting battery is eternity. Oh, that's right. I just plug in the power adapter, the active current direct current power adapter, and I don't ever have to worry about whether or not the battery lasts for 10 seconds or 10 hours. Next, and that includes dumb devices. This jalopy, this albatross to my right that seems to stalk me every day. It can't quit staring at me. It's like a parrot, although I wouldn't mind a parrot, but whatever. I don't know if I'd want a real life parrot on my shoulder all the time squawking at me, but you know. And even that albatross jalopy, I keep it plugged in. I keep it happy. I've never had a problem. Yep. And even when I traveled a lot, I always plugged it in. As soon as I got inside the hotel room, plug it in. Or I remember I'm not going to tell this story, but long story short, I traveled from one major metropolitan area to a smaller, city or whatever you want to call it. And it's a long story, but I was stranded, and then where I was stranded, I plugged it in. I found a wall outlet and I plugged in my laptop. Coffee shop, occasionally I would work at a Starbucks, or during an internet outage, if the hotel didn't have internet access because of an outage or whatever, I would go find a local. I don't eat fast junk. I don't eat at restaurants. I don't care what type they are. I don't think that food is healthy, at least not for me. But I would use them, and then I would plug in my laptop or smartphone or whatever, and I would try to buy something. Yeah, some places they would walk up to me if they. It's a long story. There was one hotel that their internet did not work at all. It was embarrassing. They didn't even care. It would go out for like a week. What I think what it was is they had some hotels, some of them are stingy, right? What they do is they have free internet, but it's very slow, just extremely slow. That's by design. And then what they'll do is they'll upsell you. Oh, for $5 a day, you can get faster internet. And then the free internet, you had to they made you authenticate every day, right? Well, this hotel, their authentication system did not work. They when I first showed up, it didn't work. And then it wouldn't load the page at all. And then finally, it wouldn't even get an IP address, and then just nothing. And it would be out for like weeks at a time. And then they would roll it. Then sometimes they would just disable their authentication system, and then you would get free internet, pretty wide, pretty decent bandwidth. And then they would go back and try to enable the authentication system again, and then it would fail. And this went on and on and on. It was obnoxious. And so for like a week at a time or whatever, there was no internet. Now there was a hotel across the street. I'm not gonna discuss that because I never, nope. But anyways, so if I had no internet and I didn't feel like going out and having to buy a dumb device so I could, get a hotspot. No, I just, okay, fine. All right, I'll just go to the local, eatery. But if they noticed me there, a couple days in a row, they would, or if I stayed there too long, a couple hours, one place they would walk up to me and ask me, and I just learned, okay, I don't eat that crap, but if they had orange juice or a salad or something, I would just buy something, $2 or $3, and they would leave me alone. Other places, they didn't care. Yeah, I don't know what it is. It could be the management. It could be, I don't know what it is, man. But I would always try to plug in my laptop. There was one eatery or a fast, I refer to them as fast junk restaurants. All of their wall outlets were disabled. None of them worked. I couldn't, so I had no power. In that case, and I preferred that location because it was closest to my hotel, so I was just like, well, fuck it. And but I paid attention. That the laptop battery would last about 5 hours, but I would pay attention. I would make sure that I wouldn't. No, you don't want to risk it. Hey, you can risk it, but me personally, I don't ever fuck around. I don't risk the operating system, the power just all of a sudden cutting out. No, that's never a good thing. Okay. Yeah, the marketing fluff here, the adjectives and the absurdity. They claimed that these laptops would be good for business travelers. And then, now they come with Intel Core Ultra processors. This is redundant. I already went over all this. I'm not going over all that again. They claim that it has anti-glare coating. The 17-inch and the 16-inch laptop monitors, yeah, this is redundant. Now, the 15-inch and 14-inch laptop models, that's just marketing fluff. I'm not going to go over that. Now, they claim that all of these models, it doesn't matter the size of the screen, come with full high-definition 1920 by 1080 web cameras that are integrated, embedded for video call. Yeah, anything you want. Skype. You could use it to live stream, whatever. So they have integrated video cameras that support 1920 by 1080 pixel resolution, blah, blah, blah. They come with some software. One of them is called LG Glance. It's developed by Mirametrix. Oh, that's security and privacy. I don't know what that is. It comes with the Life's Good Gram link. I don't know what that is. Quote, the Life's Good Gram Professional Series introducing an exciting new product range combining ultra slim design with powerful performance, unquote. Here comes another quotation, quote, we will continue to expand the LG Gram series, providing portable, high specification devices that deliver a premium user experience, unquote. And then these laptops will be featured at the upcoming Consumer Electronics Show that I plan on covering, not in person unless somebody has. I doubt I could even do it at the last minute. I doubt it. No, there's a big vetting process. I don't even want to discuss that. It is so obnoxious. It might be cringeworthy. The people there might be condescending and that air. I don't know if you live in the United States. I don't know if you've ever visited the United States long enough. But I'm not saying all Americans, but a lot of them. A lot of the capitalists. That they have this air of, just the stuck-upness and the conceitedness, and they got their nose in there, and they think that their defecation does not smell, because they get it. They think that they're better, superior. I don't know. It's just obnoxious. I don't even know if I would like that kind of environment. I don't know, but they've got this big vetting process. They have to read you the Riot Act. They have to check your FBI file. I mean, it's just cringeworthy, but whatever. If, somebody had about $20,000 and they just, contributed to me and they really wanted me to go out there. But hey, I might sneeze and they might kick me out, and then all that money would go to waste. So why bother? No, but I plan on maybe covering it like over the internet. I still need to check into that. No pun intended. No, I would not want to have to fly out there to Las Vegas. I've flown through Las Vegas a couple of times at their international airport. Not a big deal. Yeah, I've flown through a lot of large cities. Not a big deal. But I was at the airport. Who cares? I was on my laptop, or I was, taking a nap, or I don't know. But, But does that mean that once, I got out of the airport and I then went down in the downtown area that I was like all happy? Not really, no. Most of these metropolitan areas in the United States are about the same. They're cookie cutters. The downtown districts look basically all the same. They're designed very similar, almost the same design. If you travel in one American city, metropolitan area, you travel in all of them. I don't see much difference. You know what I mean? Yeah, and then I don't want to have to check into a hotel and pay, what, $1,000 an hour? I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, right. Okay, for what? What, you come back from the electronics show, and then you sit in a room about 100 square feet, and then what? And it costs you $1,000 an hour? Why? Why? The display size. So they come in 16-inch, 17-inch, and then, so they have two different model types. They have the Life's Good Gram Professional. They have the Life's Good Gram Pro 2-in-1, Professional 2-in-1. The Professional 2-in-1 has a 16-inch screen. The other ones have both a 16 and a 17-inch screen, according to this chart. The display, the Gram Professional, the 16-inch model, it has 2,880 by 1,800 resolution pixel organic light emitting diode screen. The 17-inch looks like 2560 by 1,600 pixel resolution. Oh, wait a minute. You know what? The Gram Professional comes in two different models as far as the screen. You can have the organic light emitting diode or the smaller 2560 by 1600 resolution liquid crystal display. The 17-inch Gram Professional only comes with the 2560 by 1600, but it does not stipulate what type it is. Why don't it doesn't say. It doesn't say if it's organic light emitting diode or liquid crystal display. It doesn't say that. So what is it? Which one is it? Why not? The 16-inch Professional 2-in-1 has either or, well, it can't be or. It has either the 2880 by 1800 pixel resolution organic light emitting diode screen or the 2560 by 1600 pixel resolution liquid crystal display. Brightness, I don't really care about brightness. You can look that up, blah, blah, blah. It looks like the brightness is 400 nits across the board, so I don't worry about that crap. Some people do. I don't know. I don't have time to worry about, like a specific, generally, I don't really worry about a lot of technical specifications. Oh my God, that one doesn't support, 8,000 by, 5,000 resolution. Oh my God, what am I going to do? How dare, the audacity. No, I don't care about that. I've used a lot of computers in my lifetime, and I never cared about that crap. Well, but it depends on what type of specifications. What I think is important, you may not care about or you may not know about. For example, the front side bus to me is extremely important. I have purchased computers, and I bought that computer because I found out it had a faster front side bus, but I can't always do that. It just depends on, you know what I mean? But I have been known to do that. Okay. Now the refresh rate. Okay. Now the refresh rate on these laptops it depends on the screen. The organic light emitting diode screen on the first model, the Professional, is 120 hertz, which would be 120 frames per second. The liquid crystal display supports 144 hertz, which would be 144 frames per second. The middle model supports 144 hertz, which is frames per second. The 2-in-1 model, the organic light emitting diode screen supports 120 hertz, which is 120 frames per second. The liquid crystal display supports 144 hertz, also known as frames per second. The weight, I don't really worry about either. Now, laptops aren't nearly as heavy as the original. Some of the original laptops were that probably is why they were called notebooks. Yeah, have you ever been to a library and grabbed a really heavy book, just Certain books are very heavy. Yeah. They don't call them notebooks anymore, do they? Now, usually these are known as laptops. Maybe that's negative. I don't care about negative, positive. That's to me a dumb shit duality. But something's either negative or something's positive. Well, that's abstract. I don't what you might consider negative, somebody else might consider positive. Get it? Now, in physics, sometimes negative and positive makes logical sense. Yeah, you have a positive charge, you have a negative charge. You might not want to put a piece of metal between the positive charge and the negative charge on a battery and see if you live. And see if sparks don't go everywhere. Okay. You have weight. Yeah, I'm not really concerned about this, but you know, back in the day, yeah, they were heavy. Oh man, but most modern laptops, even if they're not quote unquote lightweight, they're not that bad. That's just what it is, man. What do you expect? You know. But those weights in grams are on screen. The size, dimension are in, I think, inches and also millimeters. Those are on screen. The battery, 77 watt hours or 90 watt hours. The professionals. The 2-in-1 has a 77 watt hour battery. Thermal, dual cooling system. We went over that. That's redundant. They include the Ultra 7 processor by Intel or the Ultra 5 processor by Intel. They have embedded, integrated Intel graphics. That's redundant. I already told you the NVIDIA. Oh, but they didn't stipulate earlier the memory. That video graphics card has GDDR 6th generation, 4 gigabytes of that type of memory. The 2-in-1 has the Intel Arc graphics. Memory. They support a maximum of 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5X Max 7 at 467 megahertz dual channel. So 32 gigabytes, that's not too bad. That's pretty good. Storage. They either come with a dual solid state drive M2 type or a NVMe type hard drive, which I think is more like this. That's going to be these little. This is NVMe. It is. Yeah, this is bizarre. It's a solid state. It is NVMe. Also, it is SATA. But they've got two little. They just snap down into a port, and they kind of look like memory modules. Okay. Now the hard drive sizes supported. Here we go again. I'll be right back. I got interrupted again. This is the 4th or 5th time, man. Why? What? The manager said that she was working with these people next door that have a barking beast, a yapping mutt, as I refer to them. And the problem has not been solved. That was months ago. Why are they that? And there is a local law, there's a disturbing the peace law, and the local city council even included in the language, they mention barking, yeah, loud animals. Now, I don't like the police. I don't like government, right? But I'm just saying. Why did she tell me that she was working with them about this problem? And why hasn't it been solved yet? And number one really is why. These walls are too thin. The soundproofing is obviously not capable of this. You would not logically ever allow barking animal or loud animals in this type of environment. You would not do it. Oh, that's right. The owners might be capitalists. They only care about the money. They can charge a monthly pet rent. They can charge a pet deposit. So they only care about the money. They don't care if people can sleep at night. They don't care if people are interrupted on a live stream or on a telephone call or whatever. They don't care about the racket. They don't care about it drives you insane. Why has this problem not been solved? Why? Is it the shade? Is it because I have some shade and these other entities, including the manager, has no shade? Is that what this is about? I'm getting sick of it. This is for documented purposes. I discuss this on my live streams that are archived so that I can go back in time and I can say, look, and I can I take notes sometimes too, but this has been going on for months now. If my notepad would just be, I would need like a database. I would need a structured query language database for all the times that I've heard the yapping. These computers support up to 256 gigabytes all the way up to a terabyte. 256 gigabytes, 512 gigabytes, and also a terabyte. Okay, it comes with, speakers. It looks like 2 stereo speakers and 2 smart amp speakers, or I don't know. Yeah, 2 speakers have 3 watts and the other 2 have 5 watts. I don't know. Amp, are those woofers, or I don't know. Now, the input-output ports, it comes with 2 Universal Serial Bus 3.2 Generation 2. It comes with 2 Universal Serial Bus 4 Generation 3, 2 of those. Type C with power delivery. Oh, here, yeah. It has power delivery, the Universal Serial Bus Type C port. It has DisplayPort connector, also has Thunderbolt 4, and also high definition multi-beam interface 2.1. Now, the Universal Serial Bus Type C says power delivery. It doesn't mention anything. It doesn't mention if you can stream or if you can, transfer data. It might just be the Universal Serial Bus Type C that can only charge. The software, this is redundant. Yeah, that's all. The web camera. It has an infrared camera with webcam and dual microphones. Okay, so it comes with 2 microphones. Now these are those were the, I went over that. Now here's another chart with the different computers. The 17-inch gram, the 16-inch gram, the 15-inch gram, and the 14-inch gram. Those are not the professional models. Those are not the 2-in-1. They range in size from 14 to 17 inch. Well, actually, the 15 inch is actually 15.6 inches. Okay, the 16 and the 17-inch size screens support 2560 by 1600 pixel resolution. The 15-inch screen supports 1920 by 1080 pixel resolution. Fidelity, high definition, something like that. The 14-inch supports 1920 by 1200. Wow, that's 1920 by 1200 pixel resolution. The brightness, I don't really care about that, but if you care about that, it's on screen. The refresh rate, Now the brightness, I will mention that one of them supports 60 hertz, that's non-touch, 60 frames per second. The other supports the same thing, 60 hertz. Okay, so that's just the refresh rate. But that deals with the brightness. Now the refresh rate for the screens actually is, well, it's either 60 hertz, 60 frames per second, or 31 to 100, but it does support 144 frames per second. I'm not sure what display resolution that would be. I'm not sure. I'm a bit confused. Who knows? The 15.6 inch and the 14 inch models, they only support 60 hertz, which is 60 frames per second. The weight, I'm not worried about that. The weight is on screen. The size dimensions are in inches and millimeters. Battery. The 16 and 17 inch have 77 watt hour battery. The 15 and 14 inch models have 72 watt hour batteries. They all have a dual cooling system. Central processing unit, it looks like, I think, the 17 and 16 include Intel Core Ultra 7 processors. The 14 and 15 inch models come with the Intel Core Ultra 5 processors. Graphics processing unit, they all have the Intel Arc Graphics, which is integrated embedded graphics. You could look those up. I'm not sure I'm not sure of the specifications. That does it, support DirectX 11, 12. I couldn't tell you. I don't know. You'd have to look that up. Are they sufficient for gaming? Are they sufficient for live streaming? It doesn't sound like that they may or may not be. It doesn't sound like that they might not even be that good for gaming, because they did mention that these would be good for business travelers. Memory. It supports 8 gigabyte, 16 gigabyte, 32 gigabytes of LPDDR5 dual channel memory modules that run at 7467 megahertz. So anywhere from 8 gigabytes to 32 gigabytes. The 17 and 16 inch models, the 15 and 14 inch models support 8 gigabytes, 16 gigabytes, 32 gigabytes of the exact same memory, except for the speed is slower. It's at 64 megahertz. That's the clock cycle. Here's a tip. My tip is that you may want to just maximize the memory. Whenever you buy a computer, even if it's used or pre-owned, look up the motherboard specifications, find out how much memory that motherboard will support. Bam, buy as much memory as the motherboard will support. You can also look for the speed too. You could also see what the fastest speed or the type of memory, 5th generation, blah, 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 and go, and then upgrade that way. That's how I roll. Storage, it has the M2 2280 dual solid state drive slots, generation 4. I think it has 2 of them, I think. Now, it also supports 2 terabyte, 1 terabyte, 512 gigabyte, or 256 gigabyte NVMe. I think it probably only has one little slot. Speakers, stereo speaker, 2 watts, 2 of those. Also a smart amp, maximum of 5 watts. And then also 2 stereo speakers that are 1.5 watts. So it looks like, I think, 4 total speakers, audio. The input-output ports are different for each model. Wow, this just goes on and on and on. How much time do I have remaining? I've been interrupted so many times. I know I called it at 3, and then I think I've been interrupted 2 more times, so it's been 4 or 5 times by this problem. The manager claimed that she was working about this problem with these people. That was like at least a month. How long ago was that? 2 months ago now, and this has been a problem for about how many months? 4 months now. The first month, well, I don't want to discuss that, but I basically have been stalked twice. I had the previous neighbors banged on my door and threatened me through the door, threatened to call the police and sheriff on me because they thought I was being loud. No, it wasn't me. It was the people below me, which I've complained about before. And even the manager, when I first moved in, that should have been a clue. I should have not signed that lease. I'm being serious. If I would have known, that should have been a clue. It was weird. She mentioned something about the neighbors below me fighting and that he might be moving out. I don't think he ever did. I know who it is. I know who they look like, and I know what vehicle they drive. No. All I have to do is look out the window. Duh. And you know what I'm saying? Well, the next door neighbor assumed it was me. And he banged on my door, and then he threatened me through the door, and then he threatened to call the police and the sheriff. And then there was a discussion out in the hallway, and it was not me. And I had only lived here for a week. But I consider that stalking. Why would you fucking pound on somebody's door and then through the door start yelling? And it was creepy, dude. The guy was like, I know you're in there. I'm not making this up. I don't make these stories up. This is how the United States is nowadays. I'm not saying all Americans are like this, but a lot of them are nowadays. If you've never lived in the United States, you may think that it's like some dream, or it's if you believe the bullshit, the propaganda, you may think it's some kind of I don't know what to even refer to it as, some kind of musical or some. No, it's the opposite. No. And then the current neighbors, they stalked me too. I know they're different neighbors, I know. They tried to blame me. Their yapping mutt went just crazy. It went psychotic one night around 10:30. And all of a sudden I heard knocks on the door, and I never answer the door unless I know somebody is coming to visit me. If I know that nobody's coming to visit me, because I always schedule that, I never ever answer the door. I don't care who it is. And they kept knocking, and then they started pounding. And then somebody started yelling at me and cussing at me, and it was a male voice. He said, "Thanks for causing my dog to bark, you asshole." I'm not making this up. I don't make these stories up. I don't need to. I consider that stalking. Anytime that you sit outside somebody's door and you keep knocking on the door, and then you start yelling, and then you cuss, and then you accuse somebody, or name call ad hominem, that I consider that stalking. Yep. And they still have not solved the second problem. Why? Why is that? Why haven't they evicted these people? They're violating the lease. The lease stipulates that there are quiet hours. But I take it a step further. I don't like the police. I don't like government. I don't like landlords. I don't like any of this crap, right? I wish I owned my own land and I was about 500 miles from the nearest human. You know what I mean? There is a local ordinance. There's a local law. It's called disturbing the peace. In the United States, a lot of local, municipalities have noise ordinances. That noise ordinance, I looked it up. It actually had a provision, and it mentioned loud animals. And you could contact the local animal control. Why hasn't the animal control why hasn't the police been called? Why hasn't the animal control been called? Why are these people still living here? Why haven't they been evicted yet? Why? I think if I violated the lease and the local ordinances, I would have been gone long ago. Oh yeah. I would have been served papers, or the police would have showed up, or the animal control would have showed up and maybe warned me, maybe even taken the mutt away if I had one. Oh yeah. Yeah. Okay. So this is redundant. Yeah, a lot of this is redundant. I'm not going to go over the input-output parts because I think I went over, all of them already. Yeah, I think so. Yeah. The software, I already went over that. That's redundant. And then the web camera, the embedded integrated web camera, I already went over that. Now, what I think is kind of interesting is it has, this is creepy to me. This is a paradox. I thought that the dual microphones was kind of interesting. Yeah. A lot of the microphones and laptops and smartphones are terrible. I'll just be blunt. It's physics. If you expect a tiny little microphone that's extremely small to pick up sound and produce a good quality sound, I don't know what you're smoking. That, number one. Number two, you know. I don't. They're so small, and that who knows what it costs a penny. Are they really that good at microphones? Whereas if you had two of them, it may help. It may help. Record the sound, and it may be a little bit better quality. But facial recognition, no. No, I think that's part of the world order. I don't need facial recognition. I don't need it. I don't need my biometrics in a laptop. Why? Now, what company was it? Was it LG? No, it wasn't. Not LG. I don't think. It was either Asus or I don't know. In one of my most recent live streams, I discussed a laptop, and they admit, well, you know what? Yeah, it was not one of the featured products in the title. That's right. But they admitted that it was one of the smart televisions. That's right. They had a cover. It had an integrated web camera into the smart television. But it actually had a physical cover that you could close because of privacy. Anytime you talk about, spying or snooping or eavesdropping, people label you a conspiracy tard. I do not fearmonger, but why? Why would they have a cover so that you could cover up the web camera for your privacy? If nobody snoops, right? Also, I think there was a laptop or a computer with a microphone, and they also had a button that you could disable the microphone. Now, why? If there's no snooping going on, why did they even design it? Just like with the web camera, why did they design a web camera with a cover, a physical cover that you could? I think it was like a slide or just a button you tapped, and the cover would. You know what I mean? Yeah. Why? Same thing with a microphone. If there's no snooping going on, if nobody's invading your privacy, why? Why would they have the ability for you to disable the microphone? Why would you need to disable the microphone? So that to me is creepy. Facial recognition. Why? Why does that web camera have the capability to recognize your face? Is it for biometrics so that you could lock the laptop? No. Now, I don't know about with modern computers, but when I first tried testing biometrics, it was a complete disaster. It was an older Lenovo laptop that my employer gave. It was a company-issued laptop. Believe it or not, I used to work for International Business Machines as a computer technician. And they issued me a Lenovo. Well, actually, back then it was still a IBM. It was not a Lenovo, I don't think. No, that they still had laptops that were IBM brand. It's not that big of a difference. Lenovo is a Chinese company, but I think technically IBM still, they still own the Lenovo brand. So IBM Lenovo or what? No, my bad. They're still referred to as whatever. You know what I'm saying? I think IBM sold their personal computer to Lenovo, but they still own the trademark or whatever they got going on, right? You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing. IBM laptop, Lenovo laptop, same thing, whatever. But that laptop, it came with biometrics. It had a fingerprint scan thing right by the keyboard, and it did not have facial recognition as far as a web camera, no, but it did have biometrics, and I tested out. Guess what? I ran my fingerprint through the scanner to set it up. You have to set it up and configure it. It failed. I followed the instructions. I did. I went to their website and it said, blah, 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 do this, do that, do that. Well, I restarted the laptop computer, and I swiped my thumbnail, or thumbnail. Yeah, that'll be next. My fingerprint, my finger. It didn't work. It wouldn't unlock. I tried it multiple times. Guess what? I was a dummy. I was an idiot. I was a moron. I was an imbecile. I wasn't smart. What I could have done is I could have created a backup, a recovery. I did not. Maybe I was arrogant, or maybe I believed the bullshit. Maybe I believed the marketing. I had to reinstall the operating system. There was no other way. Now, then I learned my lesson. I did try it a second time. It wasn't really that big of a deal. Now, was that I thought that was the company issued laptop. I thought it was. Let me think. Yeah, I think it was, but it wasn't that big of a deal because they had an intranet, but I did look into that just in case. Yeah, it took a little bit of time, but I was able to download all my data and all my software off their intranet over virtual private network. It took a little while, but it wasn't. Yeah, it's not like I had to reinstall the operating system and I lost all my work data, the software, and I would have fucked myself. No, I actually learned how to recover and back up and recover all that. You know what I mean? But I tried a second time. This time what I did was I set a recovery. I think you had different options. One was like a password, or the other one was like a PIN, a personal identification number. I think I chose a personal identification number, and guess what? I followed the instructions. I swiped my thumb or my fingerprint to see if it would work again. It did not. I could not unlock that laptop with my finger because of the biometric fingerprint scanner. It didn't work. The drivers were loaded, blah, blah, blah. Didn't work. But I was able to log in with my PIN, personal identification number. Okay, so, and back then IBM bragged about how great it was. The biometrics was great. And I'm like, what are you talking about? I could never get it to work. But fast forward to nowadays, I don't know. But I don't waste time with that crap. As long as I can, enter in my laptop, I've never had a problem. I always lock it. I always have a password and blah, 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 blah. I've never had a problem. Yeah, I also never allow anybody anywhere near my computers that are important to me. If it's just some spare computer that, when I had a computer repair business, I had a lot of computers that I would be working on and then I would sell them, right? Well, those I didn't really care. I did normally set a username and it depends on the internet. I generally didn't set a password because that could cause a problem. But if I was selling to local customers, I would I would set a username and a password, and I would give them the username. I would either write it down for them, which is not really good. That's kind of a security risk. Or I would just tell them in person. I'd be like, look, here's the password, here's the username, and they would ask, oh, can I just log in to test it? Yeah. I would always make sure that they knew the username and password before they left. That way they don't call me back and blah, 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 you know what I mean? But I did try to lock it down for them because that's, to me, proper computer security. And you know what I'm saying? And I never had a problem. Me personally, I've never had a problem. The smartphones, I have, I always take it with me, you know what I mean? And if anybody ever needs to enter my premises, I either for now I travel lightly. Back in the day it was a little bit difficult, but I've never really had a problem with an inspection until now. I can't recall ever a landlord ever demanding an inspection, ever, never. I'm not making this up. Never. Usually I would move in and I would live there for maybe 1 year or multiple years, maybe 5 years, and then I would try to keep the apartment clean, and then at the end you read through the lease and they tell you that you have to have the carpets clean and everything's got to be clean, or they'll keep the security deposit. But I never ever had any time, I can't recall anywhere I lived where the landlord demanded, well, that's not true, I lied, not intentionally, that's not true. Actually, I lived in a 4-unit building one time, and the landlord did come inspect it twice, but I think it was this was not my fault. The water heater broke and it leaked, and then I immediately called the maintenance, not the landlord, but I called the management company that was responsible for maintenance and all that. This was a private owner, and he hired and paid people to manage his property, or properties plural. Well, the hot water heater broke and busted, and it leaked bad, and it kept leaking. And this was on a Friday night. As soon as I saw it, I called. The guy wouldn't answer his phone. The management company had an emergency telephone number, and I called. I kept calling. I finally received his voicemail. I left a voicemail. I think I left twice. I called even later that night because no, there was, dude, it was a hot water heater, and there was a shitload of water running. Oh yeah, it was a big leak. It basically flooded an entire room, and and then you know what I found out? I found out later that it leaked down into the unit below me, but the guy never, bothered me about it. And guess what? Supposedly the shutoff valve, was in his apartment. And yet I contacted the management after hours, left voicemails, tried to call, multiple times, and the guy didn't care. He never called me back. I don't think he did. I think I had to call him back the next day, I think. And I might have had to leave a voicemail, and then he finally called. It took like over a day. And it was flooded out, and then I left. On a Sunday, they came with a couple of people, and they had fans, and they did what they did, and I just left. I went and stayed with some associates of mine. I was like, I'm out of here. I don't know how much water damage, and the wood, if they had wood floors, it leaked all the way down into the unit below me. Well, the shutoff valve was in his unit. All they had to do is tell me that. He could have taken my issue seriously, called me back and said, I think the shutoff valve is in your neighbor's. I'm going to call them just to let them know, and then let me do that first, and then you can go and knock on them, or they'll come up and they'll, come knock on your door and they'll let you in, or they'll shut, or you don't even have to do that. I'm going to ask them to shut the water off for the building. Well, after that, then the property owner showed up twice after that for inspections. I guess what they thought I did that intentionally, or I don't know how to take care of them. I don't know. But other than that, I've never had any other inspections. I'm assuming the guy never. It was creepy and weird. The guy traveled from out of town. I don't know where he lived. And both times he came in, they had somebody from the management company show up too, and he walked in and walked down the hallway towards the bedrooms and the bathroom, and then turned around and walked back. The guy never said hi to me. He never said a word to me. He just walked in for about 20 seconds and walked back out. Both times. I don't get it. It was bizarre. Very bizarre. Okay. I'm done with this, and I've been rambling and discussing other subjects, but that's because this is the Reality PC and Real Life Study Hour live stream podcast, video podcast, and I can discuss, what happened to that page? Oh, I know why. My bad. It doesn't matter. It's cool that it's a video podcast, live stream, and people can watch me screen capture, but really, fundamentally, what's the most important thing is, number one, I get to study and learn about newer technology, new hardware, the new acronyms, and the new, like maybe even literally new type of technology that comes out. And it saves me a lot of time, and then also at the same time I can create a podcast. That's what's most important. So I'm going to take a quick break here, should I? Yeah, why not? And then at the end I'm not going to go through and upsell or anything. You can always browse to anetcomputers.com. If you ever need online computer technical support, you can ask a computer technician now. I partner with a third-party company. You can communicate to computer technicians 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year over real-time online chat, SMS, text message, email, video, voice, and remotely. You can browse to anetcomputers.com and you will see the virtual assistant that is on screen. Fill in as many details as possible and continue on. Also, if you want more information about this service, you can click on the Get Tech Help page. That page has the same virtual assistant, and those computer technicians could possibly fix your problemo. You know what I'm saying? I am not receiving compensation. This is not a paid sponsorship. If you use that service, I do receive a commission. And no, I don't think so. I'm not aware that that virtual assistant uses artificial intelligence. I don't think so. I think it's just an older school virtual assistant. I could be wrong about that, but I don't think it does. I don't know why it would need to, although you never know nowadays. I'd have to look in the code. Well, they're not going to give me access to their code, but what I could do is I could look through the hypertext markup language code and try to figure out if maybe, I doubt it would mention in the code or AI, but you never know, or I don't know. I don't know, man. It's just a virtual assistant. I'm assuming it's like an older school type virtual assistant, you know what I'm saying? But nowadays, you never know. You have no idea. What else can I talk about? I have about 15 minutes. You know what? I'm going to go check out that motherboard. Wasn't it? Yeah, I think there was another motherboard. Let's go out there. Let me see if I can find it directly from the source. I was going to talk about that one, but I decided to talk about this instead. I don't know why. I just picked one. Well, not really. I'm not going to go into details, but, you know, it's just a certain that you don't need to know that. You know, but I was kind of, well, I don't know if I want to talk about, monitors again, but then I've been talking about motherboards a lot lately, so let me go out and find that motherboard again, if it's still there where I look. It's the weekend, so it can be kind of slow. It might still be listed. And we'll go over that. I think it was Asus, I don't think it was Gigabyte. I just discussed a Gigabyte motherboard. And then yesterday, I discussed what was it, the Z90 something. Z90V, whatever. That one will be featured at the upcoming Consumer Electronics Show. But, there's something about artificial intelligence. Let me try to find that motherboard. LG Corporation has a 4K resolution projector, but I'm not going to discuss that, I don't think so. Where was that at now? Oh, Neutron. Oh, let's see. No. Moons of Mars. I don't need to discuss that. Meteorites, asteroids. Oh, Garmin is selling smartwatches under, I don't know what that price is in a different currency. I'm not sure what currency that is. Oh, solar flare, I don't need to discuss solar flares. And I don't need to discuss video games. Oh, there's a solar eclipse. But that's next spring. I won't be covering that. I've tried that as a YouTube content creator. I've tried different. Oh yeah, I've tried. I test. It could be my channel, but there's a way to gauge it. Even my smaller channel, I know when videos flop. I know when live streams flop. Meaning, I shouldn't have discussed that, but that's why you test. You know what I mean? When it comes to science and like solar eclipses, which would be part of science and space and astronomy, yeah, those don't do well. Now it technically to me is, I would include it with information technology, because those niches, those subjects, they use a lot of computers now with astronomy and science and space and all that. Oh yeah, big time. And they're going to be using artificial intelligence if they're not already using it. I don't see it. Nintendo, I don't care about Nintendo. Asteroids, yeah, I don't care. There's nothing I can do about that. When it comes to astronomy, I used to love it. When I was younger, one of my favorite classes, believe it or not, my two favorite classes was either physical education, because I loved it. I don't know, especially when we got to go outside and play soccer, or I think we played football. We played soccer, softball, even track. Running, we used to have to run. Yeah. And what I would do is, I actually was going to try out for the track team, but I never did it. I showed up, and anyways, I don't need to discuss that again, but no, but I did like to run. I used to run in 5K and 10K races that a lot of cities in the United States, they have They're sponsored. They're, oh yeah, some of them are really big. No, no, nothing like a marathon, nothing like the Boston Marathon, no, nothing like that. But a lot of the major cities have like 5K and 10K races. It's free. You don't have to pay anything. I don't know about nowadays, but back then you didn't have to pay. You didn't have to register. You just showed up. And did they put numbers on us? Nah, they didn't even do that. Nah, it wasn't. They might have, because I think, yeah, some of them, they would record the time and the winner would be printed in the newspaper. Yeah, so they might have given us a number. They might have. Or they might have asked us, or I don't know. Yeah, I think they may have. Anyways, some of the races they did actually mention the top 5, and they might get a prize or some money or whatever. I never really thought that I could win a race, but whatever. But I did pretty well, and I would run a 5K or 10K. A 5K, I think I used to run, what was it, 7 minutes or something like that. And I told the track coach at that temporary internment camp that is also known as a school, I told her my time. She's like, oh yeah, yeah. Would, because I mentioned it, I was like, well, I was thinking about maybe trying out for the track team, but I don't know if I would suffice. And I told her around whatever the time was, 7 minutes or 7:30, whatever. She's like, oh, that's pretty good. She's like, well, you can just show up tomorrow or whatever, and blah blah. She was going to invite me, and I think I probably would have qualified for the track team, but I never. Anyways, but I did participate in that. Anyways, I know I digress, but I'm trying to find this motherboard, and let me scroll down further because I would like to talk about it. Oh, my favorite, astronomy. I loved astronomy class. A lot of times the teacher would play videos. He would pull out the television, and I would get excited, and he'd turn off the lights, and we would watch astronomy movies. They may have been from NASA, could have been. Oh, the space shuttle. We watched, I think when the Challenger blew up in 1986, circa, January 26th or something like that, in 1986, we got to watch it live, yep. And I like that, yep. Even if it wasn't video, or we couldn't watch something on the television or on a VCR video cassette recorder dealing with astronomy, I still like the subject. Nowadays, I don't know, man, it's just really weird to me. It's odd. There's a lot, it's almost like a distraction now. I don't believe a lot of these science articles, There are so many problems in the United States dealing with inflation, rents doubled within a 5-year period, worrying about an asteroid, and then I can't do anything about that. If an asteroid comes towards the Earth, or a meteorite or whatever, yeah, there is a distinction. Well, isn't an asteroid, if it's outside the Earth's atmosphere, a meteorite is considered inside the Earth's atmosphere, something like that. If some big rock, some big object that's floating out there comes towards this planet, and it may hit it, it may not hit it, there's nothing I can do about that personally. I can't do anything about it, so I don't worry about it. But it is interesting. It's interesting subjects, but I think there's far bigger problems that need to be dealt with than this crap. Okay. Let me try to find that neutron star again. A neutron star. Why? Why do I need? And then from what I'm aware of, not one human has traveled the universe. There's this concept. There's the word uni means one. Uni, the root word uni means one. Universe, one verse. One verse, one, whatever it's called, the universe, whatever that is, that's an abstraction. Well, from my recollection, I don't think there's been one human that has ever traveled the entire universe, or has traveled in the universe. Allegedly, they traveled on the moon. But other than that, no. Space travel, it's only been a few humans that have ever traveled in space, right? None of them, from my recollection, has traveled the entire universe, whatever that is. So how do you know that there's one universe? There's only one. How do you know that? I don't know. And when it comes to neutron stars, and, I used to study that. It used to be fascinating, but as an adult, a lot of times I don't believe a lot of these articles. There was a recent article, well, I'm digressing too much. Nobody's going to care about that. I think some of the articles could have clickbait. Some of them could be bullshit. Some of them could be fear mongering. They're always trying to scare. Oh my God, the Earth's going to get hit by an asteroid or a neutron star or or whatever. Or it's like, well, there's nothing I can do about that. Okay, let me see if I can still find that motherboard. The 4K curved screen. I already went over. That was LG. Has those too. Oh, yeah. Oh, here it is. No, wait a minute. That's the Gigabyte. The Gigabyte, Z790. I got it wrong, but whatever. I go through these quick. I go through products now really quickly, so I don't really worry about memorizing everything. But that one is still whatever. That one, yeah. A lot of these videos recently are still getting views on certain channels, certain platforms. But there was a motherboard. It wasn't that one. There was a different motherboard. Virtual private network security. Pollination. Okay, video. Oh yeah, video gaming modification. I don't care about that. I don't see it. Let me try one more, and I might have to use some stall tactics. Yeah, Mars, the rovers. I don't have time for that, but yep. Supposedly, I have 4 minutes. You could watch it. The Mars rover. Is it? Some people. Hey man, I believe in free speech. This doesn't really bother me. Some people question the moon landings. They do. Yeah, some people claim that, well, I studied and I found out that there's a Van Allen radiation belt. Some people claim that even nowadays there may not be technology that could actually survive through the Van Allen radiation belts. There's these belts that have high amount of radiation between the Earth and the moon, actually. Something like that. And telescope, there's a huge telescope. Let's see. I don't see it. Wow. Smart television. Oh, I went over that. Yeah, I don't see it now. It just, I don't know, man. It just disappeared. That's kind of strange. Anyways, since I'm close to 2 hour mark, I think I'm going to call it a day, and I will not discuss another product. I have about 3 minutes. What else can I talk about? I did just quickly go through a lot of, different items, but, I didn't spend much time. And what else could I talk about? I have a couple minutes, Yeah, the Consumer Electronics Show that's upcoming. I'm still learning about that. Yeah, actually, I guess a lot of computer manufacturers, they feature their motherboards and monitors. Back in the day, I swear they didn't. I swear it was more like, sharper image crap. A clock radio with a robotic clock radio that can vacuum and sweep your floors and mop your floors and can cook your dinner. Yes, yeah, gadgets like that. And at times they can be very expensive. But, I could have been wrong. No, I've never really been a fan of the Consumer Electronics Show, but this year I think I'm going to maybe take some time. I don't know yet. I need to check out. I'm hoping that they have their own live stream. Yeah, it would be an inside job. I mean, it would be an in-house, right? And they might have their own. I cannot play it. No, that would be a copyright strike, and I'd get banned from all platforms or multiple platforms, and even the audio. I can't play the audio. That's copyrighted. But what I could do is I could watch it, and then I could commentate. I could do that. I did that with the Apple event, the Apple Scary Fast event. Yeah, it was fast, all right. It was only 30 minutes, but I did cover it. And that live stream did okay. It did receive, well, my channel is smaller, but nobody's going to care about the numbers. But recently, I think I finally I'm on it right there. And so this is a good sign. I'm still not a millionaire, but and I'm still working for not even minimum wage, but, peanuts. But hey, I'm an elephant. I'm a large elephant. I'm an artificial intelligence elephant. And therefore, I love peanuts, and I just subsist and persist and survive off of peanuts. I have about 30 seconds. But no, I plan on covering it. It's 4 days, I think. I don't know. I'm going to try the first day. But I already know because I've noticed this every year. Around this time of year, you got all these products that come out. It's timed, of course, and then these companies plan it, and then they mention their product, and then they stipulate that they're going to feature it at the Consumer Electronics Show. So there's going to be a lot of products. I don't know if I could cover them all. That might be 24 hours, and one person might not even be able to do it. What I mean by is these websites that I use. I'm not talking about going to the Consumer Electronics Show and then going through their catalog and going through all the companies and all the booths. No, there's no way, man. But we'll see. We'll see. That's my live stream pertaining to the LG, which stands for Life's Good, MyView. Now, MyView, according to them, and I showed you directly from the source, their own website, and it was a newsroom article. The MyView, I think, is a new brand that they're rolling out, and the model that I will put, and I did put, I also create short form videos, so I basically use the same title a lot of times. The 32SR85U smart monitor, but there's other monitors that I did go over. Adios. The replay video live stream podcast loop begins in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, only at anetcomputers.com. Adios.